So I've been using the Vision Pro now for 2 weeks, and I've been kind of playing with it and learning about it every single day, and I kind of want to show off exactly how I've been personally using it. And I've kind of found out that it fits into 4 different categories of use cases, right? But mostly it fits on the productivity side, both from a work standpoint and a personal standpoint, and then also on the leisure side, which is mostly kind of content consumption, and then also on the gaming category, right? So I'm going to talk to you guys about how I've been using it and kind of throw away, for right now at least, the price point and if it's worth it or not. Here I'm just talking about how I've been using it and how I see this kind of fitting into my life, because I've noticed that in the beginning, I was trying to find out where this fits in my workflow, when in reality, I should be talking about how it fits in my overall life and how I'm going to be using it. So, without further ado, let's talk about the Vision Pro and exactly how I've been using it. So let's talk about the first category, which is productivity, and under that, I'm going to be talking about work productivity. So actually sitting at a desk, getting your job done, revenue generating tasks and things like that. And for the most part, for me personally, right, what I do on my computer, on both my iPad and my MacBook Air, is pretty much just messaging and communication, so email and Slack and Microsoft Teams, and being able to communicate with other team members, and then as well as video editing and thumbnail editing and things like that. Now, how I've been personally using the Vision Pro in this aspect is the most important way, which is what I talked about in my 7 ways to use the Vision Pro video, which is being able to use it as a secondary monitor, right? So I use it as a secondary monitor for my M2 MacBook Air. Unfortunately, it does not work as a secondary display or extended monitor for the iPad Pro right now. I don't know if it'll ever work that way, and Apple, knowing Apple, they're probably not going to be doing it with the iPad Pro, but you can extend your display with your MacBook Air, and it works with any M-powered MacBook Air as well as some Intel-based MacBooks, so keep that in mind. And whether it is an entry-level M1 chip or a maxed out M3 chip, you can still only have one extended display. So it's not a limitation of the chip, it's a limitation of the actual headset and what Apple's putting on there. So you can have that screen be tiny and kind of sit right in front of you, or you can have that screen be gigantic. And what I love about this is that it scales perfectly no matter the size that you're using, and there's very little to no latency. Now, your mileage may vary on the latency standpoint because that really is determined by your Wi-Fi connection and things like that, but for the most part, I've had zero latency issues, and it just works like a secondary display. Now, from a comfort standpoint, the Vision Pro, I've been using it with a solo nip band, and I've been able to use it for 3, 4, 5 hours without really taking it off, and I haven't really had any fatigue, both from a physical kind of heaviness standpoint or kind of with my eyes as well. Yes, my eyes get a little bit dry, but again, if you're staring at a screen no matter what, my eyes get dry whether it is on a headset or it is an actual display itself. So I definitely see a future where you can just have your MacBook Air, kind of go to a coffee shop, put this thing on, and now you have a giant display right in front of you, and you can kind of have a remote desktop situation on the go. So that is my main form of productivity when it comes to the actual Vision Pro, using it alongside my M2 MacBook Air as a secondary display so I can be able to fit as many windows as I want. And what's nice about this is that yes, I can have my macOS operating system and all the compute happening from my MacBook Air, but I can also open Vision OS specific applications on the right, on the left, over me, all around me. So again, it really just depends on how you want to work this out. But from a productivity standpoint, from a Vision OS application standpoint, there still is a little bit more that needs to be done. There aren't that many applications, and I've seen some niche situations of this being very productive, right? Like I saw a sick kind of demo with a piano, being able to teach piano with the Vision Pro on, and how it's kind of going to each single key, so you don't actually have to learn how to read music. It kind of tells you what to do, and then you're just playing the piano. So in different work situations and in different niches and in different industries, this is going to have a huge impact. It's just a matter of when it's going to come out, how quickly it's going to roll out, and then the accessibility of it all. So now I want to talk about personal productivity with the Vision Pro, because what I like about this is that this is actually a little bit more robust than you would think. Because if you use this and you start to learn how to use it and you get comfortable using the Vision Pro, then you can really start to kind of maximize your personal life, right? And the way that I've really been equating this to and how I've been using this is kind of like AirPods Pro or even AirPods Max. That's how I've been using it. So if I'm vacuuming around the house, I put the Vision Pro on so I can watch videos while I'm doing it or listen to music while I'm doing it. Or maybe there's something on my calendar that I need to look at. So that's what I mean by personal productivity. But then also the other day with a very simple use case, my wife was making a brand new recipe. She put on the Vision Pro to try it out, and she was looking at YouTube videos on how to make that actual dish, which is like a lasagna soup, and then also all the ingredients needed. And then on top of that, she was able to share in the Notes application what I needed to buy for that actual dish that she needed to create from a grocery standpoint. So there are some great personal use cases. Now, yes, you can use your iPhone for that. You can use an iPad for that same exact use case. But the Vision Pro does allow you to have all these things open at the same time. So what's nice about this is that it does have maybe timers that you can put on the boiling water, so you know when the timer is coming up for that specific instance of the actual ingredient space. And then also, like I said, she has all her notes up on what exactly needs to be done. She has a YouTube video of how to actually be able to make the lasagna soup. So all in all, that from a personal productivity standpoint, how I've been using it is the same way that I kind of use AirPods Pro, as well as the same way maybe you use an iPad, right? This iPad has always been the canvas of looking up recipes, making sure that you have everything that you need from a to-do list standpoint, looking at your calendar. From a personal productivity standpoint, I think this is where it's going to win, and this is how people are going to be using it. I think it's going to be the same use cases that you have of your AirPods Pro or AirPods Max or your headphones. That's when you're going to be using the Vision Pro, because there is still pass-through so you can see what you're doing, but you're even more immersed and you're able to enjoy yourself a little bit more when doing those monotonous tasks like cleaning around the house, taking out the garbage, and things of that nature. So personal productivity is something that I think is going to start to explode with the Vision Pro. So now let's talk about leisure with the Vision Pro, because this is where it absolutely wins. And like I mentioned in my last video, 7 of the best use cases for the Vision Pro, out of those 7, 6 of them were on the leisure and media consumption and content consumption side, because that is what this thing is amazing at right now. So the first one I'm going to do is kind of passive leisure or passive content consumption, which is just viewing content, right? Viewing content on the Apple Vision Pro is absolutely amazing. Yes, talk about it being isolating and things like that, but again, it's not how it fits in your workflow, and it's kind of how it fits in your lifestyle for the Vision Pro, right? For instance, on an airplane, this thing is second to none. If you're taking a long trip on an airplane, this thing is going to be amazing. And this is what I keep thinking about, right? In the same instances that I would put maybe noise canceling headphones on, I'm putting this thing on, right? With the AirPods Pro and the AirPods Max, this is how I'm using the Vision Pro. So if you're sitting in like the middle seat of a long haul flight, you put on the Vision Pro, you watch whatever you want from Apple TV or from any like Disney Plus or something like that. You immerse yourself in the world that you're in. You're not bothered. You feel comfortable. It feels like you're not even on an airplane. Same thing goes with any other type of transportation, whether you're in the car or in public transit. This thing is going to be amazing to fully isolate yourself from all the stuff that's happening and get you from point A to point B without really thinking about it. I mean, nowadays already when you're on the subway, when you're on the train or anything like that, people don't talk to each other anyway. People have their headphones in. Everybody's looking at their phone. So I don't think it's like a weird thing to put the Vision Pro on. Yes, people are going to ask questions, but it's going to be kind of a delightful way. It's going to be in a, whoa, like what is that? Not like oh, what is that guy using, right? That's kind of what I've been understanding, kind of seeing in my personal situations when putting this Vision Pro on in public. And again, there's nothing that I've ever experienced like the Vision Pro. Something as simple as watching like a music video through Apple Music, being able to watch it, on the top of a mountain in Hawaii, and the way that it kind of turns viewing content into having your own personal drive-in theater that's fully immersed with noise cancellation and you hear nothing around you. That's what I equate it to, because the screen is immense, it's gigantic, and it's kind of away from you, and it still feels like you're at a movie theater. It doesn't feel like you have a TV right in front of your face, which is something that I was worried about. It does feel like it still has some distance away from your eyeballs, but at the end of the day, you know that it's actually right in front of your face. But that is what I've been really enjoying the most. It is personal passive media consumption, right? Having a YouTube video or Apple TV or Disney Plus. And again, the immersive shows that Apple TV has come out with, even though there's only like 4 of them, they're absolutely amazing. But then even regular Apple TV content, the fact that you're able to view it the way that you can view it with a large, maybe 300-inch or a 20-foot display is absolutely amazing. So even something as simple as Ted Lasso, being able to watch it in the mountains or, at Joshua Tree or in the snow, it's absolutely surreal. So that is what this is for. Now, again, we're going to talk about the price point in a little bit. And I know that people in the comments are going off saying like, oh, $3,500 just to watch a movie on an airplane. Yes, it's going to be expensive and it's not for everybody. But we'll talk about that in a little bit once we finish the rest of this. And then to round off all of my use cases and how this fits, I'm going to be talking about what I'm calling active leisure. And I'm not talking about working out, because working out on this thing is not recommended. It gets hot, you get sweaty on it, it's going to get stinky. Like I would not recommend working out on this thing. It's still too heavy and it's not fully meant for that yet. But what I'm talking about is more so gaming, right? And there's 2 forms of gaming on the Vision Pro as of right now. The first one being using Vision OS specific applications from the App Store and Apple Arcade. And there's a couple of these, and for the most part, these types of games aren't really, AAA games and things like that. They're mostly there, not really as a proof of concept, but more so to show you what is possible in the Vision Pro with gaming and Vision OS, right? The one that I've been using the most right now is just Playroom, which is essentially kind of like a game that has 5 different card games, or like Battleship and Solitaire and things like that. And I love that concept, being able to kind of use a poker table that's right in front of you to then play these kind of more classic games, which is very easy to use, and things like chess and checkers. I like that aspect because it shows you what is possible, right? And then you have the actual kind of more normal gaming, and this is where I think it's going to explode. This is going to be amazing for so many people because you can connect an Xbox controller, an MFI controller, a PlayStation controller via Bluetooth, and it works as it's intended, right? So I've been playing NBA 2K from Apple Arcade, and I haven't even tried really a lot of Xbox Game Cloud or other streaming kind of video game streaming services on the Vision Pro, and that thing is going to open up a can of worms in a good way when it comes to actually gaming, because that is what most people are used to. And I was already using it to play, like I mentioned, NBA 2K on a 20-foot display, while also having other applications to my left and right. I can see gaming being very, very intuitive and being able to kind of open up the frontier of not needing to have a gigantic display or not needing to spend extra money on these super high-end kind of monitors for gaming. Those are kind of the two ways that I see it from a gaming standpoint, right? You have Vision OS, which is going to be very immersive and is going to evolve over time. Like that is the Ready Player One, world. That is kind of getting into like a Omnitrack treadmill with the headset on and something that has a rumble pack on your chest, and hopefully Apple is able to add haptics that sync up on your Apple Watch to the Vision Pro. I can see that world evolving over the next couple of years. And then you have the more traditional aspect of using a game controller and a console and just having a large display with the Vision Pro and Vision OS, which I think is absolutely amazing. So that is how I've been using my Vision Pro, right? Like I've been using it and trying to make it fit into my lifestyle and not just my workflow. I've been trying to use it day to day. I've been trying to make it so it's not super isolating either. Like I've been using it the same way that I use my AirPods, right? If I take it on a plane, that is how I'm going to be using it on the plane, because that is honestly, that is probably my favorite use case, immersing yourself in a kind of tightness situation where it's okay to be wearing it, but not really needing to communicate with strangers next to you. I think that's absolutely amazing. And then from a productivity standpoint, there's still a little bit to be seen. Like again, Vision OS is still brand new. There's only 600 or 700 applications right now, but developers will be developing apps for it as time goes on. And again, this is a Gen 1 product. And yes, a lot of people are going to say to me, wow, $3,500, $4,000 for something that you're going to use like AirPods that are $200. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's not for everybody. And again, this is a glimpse into the future because of how cool everything is, how everything works so intuitively, how easy it is to use. Like I had friends over for the Super Bowl this past weekend. They wanted to try it out, and a lot of them picked it up pretty instantaneously in terms of how to actually use it and navigate. All I had to do was tell them how to actually point and click, and they figured out the rest because it's so easy to use and so familiar from a kind of Mac OS ecosystem standpoint. So should you buy the Vision Pro? That's totally up to you. If you have $4,000 burning a hole in your pocket, then for sure, you're going to be wowed by it and it's going to be awesome. And then my recommendation is don't force it into your workflow. Yes, if it is a $4,000 device, you're going to want to use it and kind of force it into your workflow. Trust me, that is what I was trying to do in the beginning, but that's not how you should be using the Vision Pro. Use it kind of as a supplement to what you're currently doing, right? Secondary display is awesome. Gaming every now and then, that's great. Being able to use it in public transit or on the airplane, that's awesome. For content consumption, that's amazing. So find out where it fits in your lifestyle, not your workflow, and that is my recommendation, and you're going to be extremely happy with the Vision Pro, but things will evolve over time. It's not for everybody. It's still very expensive, and I would still recommend people, get a normal laptop, get a normal iPad, get a normal iPhone for the same price of one Vision Pro. But that is going to do it for this video, everybody. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. At least comments down below about what you think about how the Vision Pro has been received. Now that the wow factor and kind of that awe-inspiring moment is kind of settled down a little bit over the 2 weeks. Now we're going to see how people are going to be using it in their lifestyle. And I know that there's some awesome niche use cases, and like the doctor's office one, being able to teach people how to perform surgery, and like in PD situations where like police departments are teaching their officers how to do and kind of figure out a situation specifically. That's all going to happen from a commercial standpoint. So now we're just going to see what it's going to do from a consumer standpoint and see where the dust settles after the next couple months kind of go through. But let me know in the comment down below, like I mentioned. But if you guys want to watch some more Vision OS, Mac OS, iPad OS, or iOS videos, click on one of these right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace. Remember, it's not about your workflow, it's about your lifestyle flow and where it fits in there. But until next time.